Hi, and welcome to Talking with Tapolci. I'm your host, Jason Tapolci. Thanks for joining us this week. If you missed the past couple episodes, we spoke about originating profit, starting in episode 2. And that simply spoke about the growth phase, the delivery phase, and the support phase of any business. And then last week, we invited Sebastian Kiley, who is the product manager for VoIP Innovations, and he was able to tell us what a product manager does and how he keeps everything moving from phase to phase to phase. And then this week, we've invited Natalie DeCario, who is the head of the marketing department. She's our marketing manager, and she's going to talk a little bit about the growth phase. So we're going to dive deep into the growth phase of growth, delivery, and support and find out how do we make the growth phase turn. So welcome, Natalie DeCario.
Thanks, Jason. Hi, everybody. So my role at VoIP Innovations is the marketing manager. So I basically run our marketing department where we do all the social media, we create the blogging content, we build websites, and everything we do is designed to generate leads. And then once we get those leads, we nurture them along there until they convert over to a full customer through sales.
Interesting. So where does, in the growth phase, we've talked about obviously marketing and sales is in there, but where does it all start?
It all starts from your belief system. So when you start building a company, you have to have your beliefs. And from there, you can build on to your core values. And then from there, you really portray that to everything you do, whether it's marketing, building products, interacting with your customers. It all starts from your belief system. So
we have spoken in the ebook, we talked about our core values at VoIP Innovations, spelling out the word core. So could you give me an example of, pick one of the values and how we use that in our, daily activities?
Sure. One of the core values that we have is evolve. And so with VoIP Innovations, that's definitely something that we're always doing. We're evolving every single day, especially in the VoIP market where it's changing from day to day. We're always, innovations in our name, so we're always trying to keep everything new and fresh and stay like 10 steps ahead of our competition.
And then as far as, I know one's respect, not to jump in there, but, I know that's a big for all of us, but how does that play? How do we use that in all the departments when we interact with our customers and vendors and shareholders?
We try and think about it as treat your customers how you'd want to be treated back, because we're all customers of something. Yep. Customer service is huge in everything. So no matter what we do, we try and think about it by putting ourselves in the customer's shoes. How would they want to be treated? How would they want to receive the information? And that's how we start doing that, because it's all based on respect.
I completely agree. So then in the growth phase, we've kind of identified here, we did identify that you're going to have to start with your belief system, right? And it turns into your core values, okay? And then what's the next? What comes after those? What do you decide as if you're running a business? What would I want to decide next?
The next thing is figuring out who you actually want to target and who you're marketing your products to. And by doing that, you want to develop buyer personas. Okay. So you want to create a whole person pretty much of who you're going to talk about. One thing that we have VoIP Innovations is Reseller Randy. So we talk about him like he's a real person. He's one of our customers. Everything we do goes back to how would Reseller Randy want to see this? How do you think this would affect him?
Yeah, very good. And as far as the buyer personas, then we choose who we're going to target, but then we come up with a strategy. So at VoIP Innovations here, so Reseller Randy is who we're targeting, right? I think we mentioned in the ebook that he is, he runs a business, an ITSP, less than 10 people, and he's concentrating on growing his company. But when he reaches a certain point, the daily administrative tasks take up most of his day, and he doesn't have time. So our strategy in VoIP Innovation was to what?
Save our customers time. And everything we do is designed to make their lives easier. Our back office was designed with automation and choice and control and everything that we want to do to make our customers' lives easier. And even all the content that we build from the marketing department, it's all about how to just inform them on being an empowered business owner to make their own decisions.
So then you would say that a pain, me as a customer, Reseller Randy, it's important to identify a pain that I may have. And we talked about this last week with Sebastian a little bit, but I think most people identify the pain, but what makes certain customers or competitors win and certain ones lose?
I think you kind of actually start to relate to your customers on a deeper level. Like how we talked about respect. You really actually want to help them. You're not just out there trying to make money. Like we were talking about earlier. You don't just put a Band-Aid on it. With us, we want to put a Band-Aid and Neosporin on it.
You want to have a differentiator is what you're basically saying, right?
We want something else that makes us stick out, that makes us just one step better than the competitors.
Yep, I agree. It's what some people call the secret sauce. And then, so lastly, we get to the thing that we all think about when we're in growth and delivery. When we're in the growth phase, which is marketing and sales, right? I think that's probably the one thing or two things that everybody thinks of when they think of growth, not just everything you told us. So when it comes to marketing, what do you find the best way to present yourself?
It's through your content. Your content is everything. Because when people start on Google and they search for something, your blog post is going to come up, your website, it's going to come up, your Google ads, everything that you do, your social media sites, people are reading and viewing your stuff. And you have to make it sound good. You have to go back to your belief and your core values. Is everything that you're saying in your messaging in line with those beliefs and core values? And you really have to go back to the buyer personas also and say, hey, is this what Reseller Randy wants to hear today? Is he interested in this information that we're sharing? So
what I'm hearing is I go online and I go to pick a product or I'll read some information, and as soon as the person starts talking about how great their company is and I should buy from them, it kind of turns me off. So what has been your strategy, or is your strategy? It seems like it's more to educate.
Exactly. We want to be the thought leader. If somebody thinks of wholesale VoIP, we want them to say, hey, VoIP Innovations has all this content. It's not about them. It's not about what they're doing this week. It's all about how can it help me as the business owner. I like to follow an 80-20 rule, so 80% of the things that we post is just relevant content that people are interested in, they want to share and talk about. And then the 20% is where we'll put our little shameless plugs. Like, hey, we have this new feature, here's our chat with Nat where we talk about what's going on in the office this week, just to kind of bring you back a little bit that, hey, we are still a company trying to sell you some stuff to make your lives easier. So.
But it's very important to us, as she mentioned, we want to provide content, great content that helps people solve problems. We all want to know how the pain that somebody experienced and how they solved it. And then lastly, it leads us to sales. And sales is a unique beast in itself. And so what's the primary role? What do you try to do in the growth team as far as with sales? I guess it's alignment?
Yes, alignment is everything. If your sales and marketing teams are not talking to each other and involved in everything, and there's a huge disconnect, and sales doesn't have a clue where you're getting the leads. You don't know what's happening to these leads once they're ready to convert. It's not good if you don't talk. I know for us, we talk once a week with sales just to make sure everybody's in line and they all know what is happening between each department. Hey, we have this email blast going out about this promotion. Make sure your sales guys knows about it, because we're putting the sales email as the contact information. And it's just, we've gotten a lot better at that over the years. So I guess it's important that we hire through our core values, and making sure you get that right salesperson, that right marketing team, so that the message is aligned. So I appreciate you coming out this week and talking with us and sharing us your what you do here and a little bit about the growth phase. And next week we're going to be talking to Tim Lynn, who is he's the head of the delivery phase. He's our lead engineer at VoIP Innovations, and Tim's going to talk to us a little bit about how to deliver on what the growth team has promised. So again, thank you for watching. My name is Jason Tapolci, talking with Tapolci.